Okay guys, so I hear that you may be confused of what to do next. So I just wanted to make a quick drawing just to show you how to make what I call a sample. So the idea of a sample is that you want to build something that's going to give you a good idea whether your idea is working or not. In this case, in terms of construction, what we want to understand is, can an aluminum frame contain floating cubes? And two, can they be assembled together? And third, can they support a floor? And can this floor, be strong and support people? So what you're going to do is that you're going to go to the hardware store and get aluminum beams of the real size. In this case, what we're looking for, you can go downstairs. So we're looking for 50mm by 50mm, and I think it's 2 or 3mm thick. So depending on what you can find. One bar is supposed to be 6 meters long, so 6,000 long. Okay, so it's quite big. If you find in the store that they have that, but they need to cut it in the middle, or 3,000 each, that's also perfectly fine. Okay, what you're going to be building with this is that you're going to be building, first you will build the truss. So it means that this is one truss like this, and so let's say you're going to add verticals like this, and in each location you're going to pop a rivet here. Actually, you're going to be putting those first before you pop the rivet, so the triangulation, and then pop the rivet everywhere. And then you're going to do that, say 4 times. So you're going to be building basically a truss beam. So that's called a truss beam. So like this, you're going to be building a truss beam. And so what I'm asking you to do is basically to make 2 of these. So you're going to be making 2 truss beam, 1 and then 2. And then your goal is going to be to figure out how to assemble. So my expectation is that you're going to have to drill a slightly larger hole here so that you can assemble these 2 truss together. So if I look at it from the top, you have this truss like this. And then what you want to do is to bring them together. Okay, and so at the end of the day you want to put those 2 trusses together like this, so they need to align and being of the same sort of size. To attach them here, what I'm expecting is you're going to have to drill holes here, and so if I do a crossed section, so you're going to have the 50mm, and you're going to have to put a washer. So you have to drill a hole, put a washer, put a nut, and you're going to have to bolt these pieces together. Oops, sorry, here. So you're going to have to take those 2 profiles. So imagine this is just a detail of the bigger frame. Yep. And I expect that you have to do that as well at the bottom. Okay, and so once you have assembled those 2 truss beams together, so these are truss beams, you have assembled 2 of them, then your goal is then to, once they are solidly attached together, your goal is to then put on top of it a piece of plywood, which is going to be serve an exotic shape like this. And so say your 2 truss beams are going to be like this, under. And so then your goal is going to be to see, like, how can I attach this piece of wood to the truss beam? Do I drill pieces in like this, and do I drill here? And then how much of an unsupported piece of wood can I have? Because if you stand up on it, here it should be super strong on top here. If you're standing, so if you're standing on the beam, but if you're standing in the middle here, does it bend? Is the plywood too thin, and is it bending the wood? And then if you're standing here, of course, then you should be falling down, right? If you're standing here, you should be falling down. And the question is, if it's not supported, how much does it bend? Oops. So if you are standing here, if you're standing in the middle, or if you're standing on the edge, how much does it bend? So by doing these construction tests, you want to try different things. You want to validate, is this the correct material? Do I have the appropriate tools? And third is how long each movement takes me. How much time does it take me to make a cut? How long does it take me to make a hole? How many seconds does it take me to rivet? And I want you to basically make steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. And then for each of these steps of each of action, you need to measure. So that's the step, that's the action, and here you need to put the seconds, and then of course the tools that you need. And so like this, you're gonna have an idea. Okay, if one truss takes me, like an hour to build, and I happen to need 40 trusses, well, so that means 40 hours to build just the truss. And then if it takes me 20 minutes to stick 2 trusses together, that's it's like 40. So times divided by 2, so that's 20 times 20, so 20 times 20 minutes. It will tell you how much time you need basically to build a structure. So this is what I call by sample. It means that we are using real material to test our ideas and see whether they will work or not. Okay, so go to the hardware store or go into our stock and see if you have the aluminum, the plywood, and the type of screw that we need, and trying to build that today. And that should give you a good idea whether the design idea that we have right now or the assembly technique that we have is the correct one, or we need to change our design or assembly technique. All right.